It's really important that as a regiment do not compromise the ability to select and train our own people, because what is expected of our people is to strike deep behind enemy lines at a moment's notice, and clearly when everything else is telling you to stop, we within airborne forces continue.
Why are we? Stand by!
So with P Company, every single event that we do ties into the P Company mission, which is to test physical fitness, determination, and mental robustness under conditions of stress, in order to determine whether an individual has the self-discipline and the motivation required for service within the airborne forces.
As the UK's high readiness force, the Parachute Regiment may find themselves deployed anywhere in the world at short notice. As a result of that, we need to select our people. This is to ensure that as we move towards the objective and you look across at the person opposite you, at the very least, they too have passed P Company and can be relied upon.
P Company is of vital importance to us because it allows us to measure and allows the recruits to demonstrate that they've got the attributes required to serve within the Parachute Regiment within airborne forces. That stems from the job role of the Parachute Regiment and our role in the Army and wider defence. So what that means is a recruit may well have to pass out of here, go to a battalion, maintain a very high level of readiness to deploy at very short notice to a potentially hostile environment where they'll be unsupported or with very limited support against potentially overwhelming odds, and have to show the mental and physical fortitude to overcome those odds and achieve any mission that they may be set. That role is unique to the Parachute Regiment, and is why we need such a unique test of physical and mental robustness, which P Company most certainly is.
The Parachute Regiment provides the capability to deploy an infantry force at short notice in the vanguard of operations and the most demanding of circumstances. Paratroopers have two unique roles. They are trained and ready to form the spearhead of the Army's rapid intervention capability, and they are the integral part of the United Kingdom's Special Forces.
We're not assessing fitness, but what we are assessing is their mental robustness. What I mean by this is anybody can be fit, but can anybody carry a log and go deep and stay in the red zone for 20 minutes, sub 20 minutes on a 2 mile best effort? Just like on operations and previous experience and many of the team that have been through it, if someone's injured, are they willing to go that extra little bit just to save the life of another soldier?
When I'm looking at them, I'm not looking for the loudest on the log, and we're looking, for the one who's grafting, putting the effort in, making sure that toggle's tight. Anyone can gob off. It's about actually doing the business and getting that log forward. Same going into a platoon section attack, looking for that Joe, Tom, who's cutting around, doing the 2 IC role, just not shouting, being a DS watcher. It's about doing the job, but also having the humility and being humble at the same time.
It's day one of test week. The Para Recruits, or Joe as they're known by the Para directing staff, have just completed 20 weeks of training at Depot Para at the Infantry Training Centre, Catterick. P Company, as it's known, is a week of arduous events designed to test physical and mental suitability and to see if Joe has what it takes to join the ranks of the Parachute Regiment.
Right, so I'm Corporal 1, instructor at Para Depot. At the minute we're taking a Primsol platoon through their training. So I think P Company is an essential part of what we do in training at the depot and the regiment, in the service within the regiment, and then also the wider brigade. I believe that paratroopers are made in the depot, but the P Company at week 20 is an essential part of putting that pressure on them and really seeing their mental state. Obviously throughout training in the depot, us as instructors spend a lot more time with them than the P Company staff do, and we put them in tests in difficult situations. But I think P Company, because it's so well structured and it's steeped in such history, in Parachute Regiment history, that it really has an effect on the Joe and separates the wheat from the chaff, men from the boys.
I always had the intention of joining the military, like from a young age, whether it's a Paras or not. Weren't decided till last year. I had a friend that joined the Paras and he persuaded me.
Obviously, joined at a young age. I just came straight from school, knew that I wanted to join the Parachute Regiment. At 15, I applied to join the army and went to AFC Harrogate, so I took a different route to some of the other lads.
I always wanted to join the military when I was younger, but I was never fit enough. And I had a load of mates that joined the Parachute Regiment and told me all the stuff they got up to. And then when lockdown came in, I stopped drinking, started training, got fit for depot.
I studied at Harvard University in Gloucester for 3 years, studied strength conditioning. I graduated last summer, and then as soon as I graduated, I sent my application off to join the Paras.
Well, I decided to join the Parachute Regiment. I've always loved being outdoors, exercise, like hiking, and the excitement and sort of the adventure of the Parachute Regiment appealed to me, and I always knew I wanted to join the army. And once I became old enough to sort of do my research, learn about it, I knew the Parachute Regiment was for me being the fittest, the most elite, the best soldiers, always on the forefront of every battle and every war that we've been taking part in for the past 80 years.
My mates told me that coming to depot you'd be built up by the training team, so you start with like really basic sort of fitness stuff and then they'll build you up and mould you into what they want you to be.
Yeah, before you, from the get-go, you constantly you hear about people getting injured and getting smashed into the fids, but it's so gradual throughout training. That's why injuries are so minimal, and you don't do a 10 mile until you're 5 weeks away from P Company, and even then I've only done 2 so far. So it builds you the constant confidence throughout training to when it actually comes to crunch time at P Company, you know it's an achievable goal. You've done it before.
I wouldn't say you need to be super fit to come, but you definitely need to prepare yourself on Super Street and get yourself to a good level of fitness, and then the training team will do what they want with you and get you where they want you to be.
I sort of did my research. I knew you sort of get built up, you get turned into the soldier that every paratrooper's expected to be. One of the biggest issues was I thought you had to come here at the fitness standard required for a long time, which is obviously completely unrealistic. You can't get power fit without being in the power depot doing the training. So I spent a lot of time doing loads of phase thinking I had to get to the standard, which obviously it's ridiculous.
So when we're running alongside a log and I'm sort of looking at the Joes, it's not me who's running P Company as an assessor, but in a sense I am assessing them throughout their training in the depot. I'm writing weekly reports and sort of looking at the Joe and trying to evaluate them and see their weak points and try to improve them, train in rather than select out. But during the P Company, especially on some of the hard events, log stretcher, it's a good chance for me to see my recruits I've been training in sort of a different light, and I get to essentially take a step back and then see the pressure that's been applied to them. So I think whenever we're looking at them, the sort of key attributes that we're looking for is sort of really that mental toughness. Some of the events are short and punchy, and there's a good variety of events. Unlike the commando test where there's only a slack handful, we have quite a large number, which allows us to look at them in different ways, and it really highlights, in different aspects, sort of mental toughness when the chips are down and you've given everything, your ability to carry on. And I think there's a few events maybe sometimes highlight that more than others. I think log and milling, for example, really shows someone's mental fortitude and ability to carry on under pressure. And the team events as well show them that they work for each other. sometimes you'll see people who have just had enough, and the physical and mental pressures too much to pull themselves off, and that is absolutely not what we want serving for the Parachute Regiment and the wider brigade.
We're on day one of P Company today. This morning we got the 10-miler loaded march. So it's 10 miles with a £35 burger and plus water on top of that. So it comes in about £37. And then you're carrying a rifle, which is another £9 as well. Obviously you have your pre-P Company nerves. Anyone that says they don't, I think they're going to be lying. But as for the 10-miler itself, I'm feeling quite confident because leading up to P Company, you built up over the 20 weeks. So you start from low numbers and you build up to a 10-miler. And as a squad, we've already done 3 collective 10-milers. So you know you can do it, it's just turning up on the day and getting it done.
I feel pretty confident about the events today. We've done them plenty of times in training under more adverse scenarios, less sleep, more tired, more fatigued muscles. So going into it quite well vested. So I'm feeling pretty confident today.
The 10-miler, it's a big one for the Parachute Regiment because tabbing's their bread and butter, and like the rest of the army, we do a lot of it. And then after the 10-miler, we got the trainasium, which is how they test us working to command at height. So in the trainasium, there's a rat race. We have to run over the seesaw, and you have to run around the trainasium and finish off by landing on a cargo net. Then you got the 60-foot high shuffle bars, where you come out, step over a small lug, and then get told to touch your toes, and then continue. And then there's the illusion jump. And then the Superman jumps out of play for this P Company being repaired. So that'll be all. I feel confident going into the events because we've done them all before, but I'm also nervous because it's P Company and it's a different entity of staff that will be testing us today. Yeah, I definitely feel ready. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I feel like the training 100% has prepared you for this week. They say it's the best week of training, so we'll see.
Everyone finished off? Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Everyone want to be here? Yes, sir!
With moments to go until the start of the 10-mile Tactical Advance to Battle, or TAB as it's known in the Army, the Para-DS subject the recruits to a spot check to ensure Joe has the correct kit and equipment stipulated to him on the packing list. After that, it's time to get their Bergens weighed to check they've got the correct weight for the test. The 10-miler is used to simulate moving from the drop zone or helicopter landing site at speed to an objective and is the benchmark test for the United Kingdom's airborne forces.
3, 2, 1, turn to face your right. Forward. Forward. Take forward. Take 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Keep going on this spot. Go by. Go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
So Joe's about to step off on day one of test week in the 10-miler. Quite an arduous route, multi-terrain, plenty of hills involved there as well to get them obviously blowing. 10-miler represents the safety distance between parachuting in from the modern day air defence, safest to air missiles, etc. drop us in behind enemy lines so that we can tap in, take whatever objective or RV at whatever objective we need to.
Stand by! Go! Stand by! Go! Come on, come here! 2 minutes! 2 minutes!
Halfway through the test and the paras get a 2-minute water stop. This is an opportunity to take on fluid and fuel to keep their energy levels up. With the DS keeping a close eye on time, it's important that they work as a team and look after each other before stepping off again.
30 seconds!
30 seconds!
Listen, stand by! Go! React!
16 that have come off is Private Cooper, who has not scored well on this event. The pressure is now on. He needs to stay focused and do well in the other events if he wants to be in with a chance of passing P Company and serving in the Paras.
Yeah, a few more than what we anticipated. Not bad overall. Give them a bit of a G up now. Obviously we lost 16 there, so I give them a bit of a chat at the end. Just make sure they know it's not the end of the line. There is still a chance. However, they've got to pull it right out the back. There you go, 1 hour 50 bang on.
Right, Joe, listen in. Those of you that stayed with the pack there, good effort. That's 10 points there going into the rest of the week. That's exactly where you need to be. We started off strong, looking good. However, just remember now, that's the basic 10 miler for the rest of your careers if you are to progress into the Parachute Regiment. Everyone understand? Yes, sir! Good.
Yeah, 10 miles, 1 hour 50. Not a bad effort by Joe. Majority of them stuck with it. It is a hard route, so it definitely puts them to the test.
So I just finished the 10 miler. It was just like normal, apart from this time at the end my legs started to cramp, which isn't something that usually happens. So the last half a mile for me was a massive struggle, but I stuck with it and I got 10 points, so I'm looking forward to the next event.
Yeah, that 10 miler went well, stayed on it. Now we look forward to Trinasium, which will be the next event, should be shortly after this.
I was just slightly falling back, I couldn't get, just side overheat, and I just went, I don't know really what happened. It ain't the end of P Company for me. I've got the Trinasium next, I need to crack that out past that. And it's starting 20 miler, and P Company ain't over for me yet.
The Parachute Regiment's watchwords are professionalism, resilience, discipline, versatility, courage and self-reliance. It is led by design and it's expert at air-land deployments by helicopter, airplane or parachute. Airborne soldiers stand ready to conduct a range of missions from prevention tasks to complex, high-intensity warfighting.
So as you can see now, we've got the recruits of Prim Sol Platoon out on the Trinasium. What are we looking for as DS on this? We're looking for their reaction. So obviously, as soon as the DS give that word of command, do they react straight away? Are they hesitant? And obviously, the way we construct that into the concept of operations and stuff like that as well is if they're in the door of an aircraft and that green light comes on, they need to have that confidence to jump there and then when the PGI tells them to. As we all know, if they don't do that, then obviously that affects the operations out on the ground. If they've not got that bit of specialist equipment, or if that man doesn't go, the backlog it has on there, maybe have to do another pass, and again, it all affects us operationally.
Having completed the 10 miler before lunch, Joe now has to contend with the Trinasium Aerial Confidence course on the afternoon of day 1 of test week. If they fail this, they're instantly deemed unfit for service in airborne forces.
Right! Turn!
Don't touch my belly, Joe.
By the front! Quick! March!
We're just about to take on the Trinasium. This is a pass without fail event. I come off the 10 miler earlier, so I need to pass a 2 and a 20 miler to be able to pass P Company, so I've still got a chance of passing. I've got plenty of points to pick up. Obviously I need to get through this next event, so I'm not looking too far past that. I'm hoping I can do well in this one now.
Follow the demonstration and you can't go wrong. Just follow exactly what I tell you to do and you'll get it done and get out of here and then on to day 2. Happy?
Yes, sir! Climb! Right, number 9, listen. Stand by! Go!
The directing staff expect the recruits to respond to words of command without hesitation. Joe must react with confidence and commit fully to each obstacle. Any recruit deemed to be hesitant will be instructed to complete the activity again. This is essential to ensure a recruit is suitable to move on from P Company to RAF Bryce Norton, where they will be expected to complete their parachute descents prior to arriving at their battalion.
It's up there, then lands his toes. Carry on. Number 16, Private Williams, stand!
Good, time down. Get him one, time. Stand by!
Private Cooper is still feeling the effects of this morning's 10-miler. But after being assessed by the P Company medical team, he is keen to get straight back to it.
Right, number 3, listen in. Stand by! Go! Come on, Joe, best speed. Slide down. Not that one, you. Go to the other one. Okay, get away. Best speed, Joe. Sprint. Make sure when you get back tonight, you keep taking the fluids on. Don't overdo the fluids, as number 3's just found out there. Just take on enough fluids and put you through. Plenty of hydration, plenty of food, right? Electrolytes, all that good stuff. Get that inside you ready for tomorrow morning. Log race. Remember what I've said before. Most of you here have been on the bones of your ass on an exercise where you've got to the end of it and surprise, there's a log there for you to take through, right? If you can do that, then you can certainly do this tomorrow morning fresh. Yep?
Yes, sir.
Let's get that in the head, get those positive thoughts in, and I'll see you in the morning.
Sir. Just completed the Trainasium event, which is the second event of P Company. No problems, perfect weather for it, no wind, no rain, it was just no problem, everyone's passed. Yeah, well, it was pretty easy, we've done it plenty of times before, so we've been well accustomed to it by now.
Trainasium went alright, to be fair. I managed to get through it. I had to redo the rope swing because I hesitated on the second go. So I just made me redo it again. So it's just about reacting to that word of command. But apart from that, everything else went well. So yeah, I'm sure I'll pass that one. Tomorrow's Black Thursday, commonly known as the hardest day in P Company. So in the morning we'll have the log race, and then in the afternoon we'll have the steeplechase. For today, I was feeling really confident for it, but I just need to make sure I do my recovery right tonight, eat well before, get plenty of water down us, and try and go into it all guns blazing tomorrow. So this morning we'll have the log race, which is a team event between 8 men on a log. You've got 18 minutes to complete it, and then in the afternoon we'll have the steeplechase. I'm feeling better than I did yesterday. I had a bit of a day yesterday. I came to 10 mile like just after the second water stop. Don't really know what happened, but yeah, I'm feeling better today. So yeah, I feel as ready as I'm going to be for the log. Just got to get through it. It's 18 minutes of work, just hold on and drive that log across the line.
I missed the log due to being injured in the injury platoon. When I come back, this platoon had already done it, so I'm a bit nervous to touch it for the first time. I'm feeling alright, a bit sore from the 10 miler yesterday, but good stretch off last night has helped me out, I think.
Yeah, this is the one I'm the most apprehensive about. We've had the least sort of time practicing it, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it is. It's going to be hard.
Joe, listen to me, okay? Log race, right? Arguably the hardest event on P Company, okay? Just get it in your mind now. Right, as soon as you get that log, push through it, okay? This event, right, you'll remember this for the rest of your lives, okay? People always ask you, right, did you stay on the log? Okay, just get it in that mindset now. Think about the maroon machine when you're hanging out, going round. Okay, think about this at the end, okay? Everyone happy with that?
Yes, sir!
Right, if you're not forward of your station, okay, you're going to get a strike. You get 3 strikes, you're gone. Everyone happy with that?
Yes, sir!
Bloke in front of you's hanging out, get a grip of him.
1 minute! 1 minute!
Last night to get yourself recovered. Make sure you keep doing that, yeah?
The staff.
Staff?
No, sorry.
Situational awareness, yeah?
Number 26 was the last man standing on his log, and the directing staff have jumped on with him to get the log over the finish line. This level of commitment is exactly what the directing staff are looking for. Despite starting with 8 in a team, many of the logs are down to just 3 individuals. Regardless of this, Joe is expected to keep pushing forward.
Log done log 4. Yeah, happy?
Yeah, it went all right. I'm glad I managed to stay on in one of arguably the hardest events. I did get chalked in the last 50 metres, which is pretty disappointing, but it is what it is. I still got points. Later on in the day, we've got the steeplechase, another hard event. That should be in the afternoon, so got that to look forward to.
Yeah, it was tough as I was expecting it to be. I won't lie when I say it's going to be the hardest event. 7 have started, 3 have finished. It was a pretty tough day, but I come from yesterday and got on with it, so now looking forward to the steeplechase in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was alright. I thought I was doing better than I was, but apparently I weren't in front of my knot, so I was struck off. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Bad, but after we got through the water, I thought it was fine. The log was moving rapid, my log was in first, but yeah. Steeplechase this afternoon, it's a good event, chance to make up some points, so I look forward to that.
So that's the 2-mile log race. It simulates moving heavy weapons, ammunition or vital stores to the front of the battlefield where it's needed. crucially, like with any other event, they need to arrive prepared to fight. Today we've lost about 5. It's expected. They've still got the stretcher race. They pull that out of the bag, they can still pass.
So for me, P Company is important because it separates us, first of all, from every infantry regiment in the British Army. It's not just a test of your physical robustness, it's a mental test as well. We say it all the time to our recruits, if you are in control of your minds, you can accomplish anything, not just with P Company, but just in life in general. For me though, the biggest importance about P Company is the fact that you know when you're in battalion, on exercise, growing up with your mates, and potentially on operations, you know full well that the people next to you, left and right, have gone through the same thing. They've been through that same pain barrier, they've gritted their teeth, they've pulled horrendous faces, and they've just proven that they're part of something much bigger.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Press up to where you go. Stand by.
After completing the log race this morning, they must now tackle the steeplechase. This is an individual best effort test. Joe is against the clock. It's a 2-mile cross-country course featuring a number of water obstacles. They must complete the cross-country element first and then negotiate an assault course. The event needs to be completed in under 19 minutes to score 10 points.
Go straight to the water fast as you can, come on.
Number 11, Private Tidy, has done well on this event and scored maximum points. Despite coming off the log, it's all still to play for.
This is not the end, this is just you arriving at the start of the battle. Head up, Gilbert, head up, forward. Got a source, very ready to fight, Joe. Stand still. Number 15, sir! Number 32, sir! 11, sir! Number 33, sir!
Yeah, we just completed this steeplechase there. Short, fast, hard event. Came in good position, so quite happy with that. Yeah, it went well. I've always found the steeplechase quite hard, but managed to get a good result in the end.
So we just finished the steeplechase, which is a best effort event, solo effort. So we do the steeplechase simulate getting to the battle. So it's 2 miles under undulating ground with like water obstacles, and it's best effort. Alright, it was a bit harder having niggles, but I dug deep, got a mention off the P Company staff, which was nice for a good effort, so feeling good after it.
I was particularly impressed there. Obviously participated in the steeplechase myself, but there was some of them right up my arse. Considering where they are now in the course, they're feeling tired, they're feeling sore. It's an impressive still performance from Joe. there will be a few that are disappointed. But again, that's the nature of the beast.
Today's events are done for today. We had the log race in the morning, and then we had the steeplechase this afternoon. Managed to stay on the log, got through the steeplechase. Just doing a bit of recovery now with the PTIs, ready for the 2 miler in the morning.
It was a good day. Came in with the winning log on the log race, and then came third on the steeplechase. So I'm happy with that, and just stretching off now, making sure I get some good recovery.
So Friday we got the 2 miler in the morning, which got to be done in 18 minutes with 37 rounds.
The 2 miler is another benchmark test for airborne forces and is regularly undertaken on exercise and operations at platoon and company level.
Represents that rapid movement to either counter an enemy or seize the initiative away from the enemy. So they're carrying 37 pounds, they're going 2 miles, and they've got 18 minutes to do so.
Right, Joe, just remember what you was told, right? The only way we carry this weapon in one arm is when we carry it between the pistol grip and the magazine housing. Exactly like the chief instructor told you on the brief. Everyone happy? Yes, sir. Yes, I don't want to see any other carriage of this weapon unless it's in 2 hands. So 2 hands, like so, or between the pistol grip and the magazine housing. Everyone happy? Yes, sir. Take your points. Come on, get away from me. Come on. Get past me. Go. Go, finish now, you two. Let's go.
Number 20, Private Duncan, one of the youngest recruits, has put in another strong performance, finishing in the top 5 for both the steeplechase and the 2 miler.
Right, good effort to those that finished with a pack there.
Number 20, sir!
Number 15, sir! Number 11, sir! Number 3, sir! Number 16, sir! Number 1, sir!
The recruits have just completed their 2 mile loaded march. The recruits here have done reasonably well. Would have liked to see a little bit of a stronger performance, but a lot of them have scored. Again, this just will go to their overall performance throughout the whole P Company, hopefully resulting in a pass, especially for the ones we've invested in.
Last event of the first week of P Company, the 2 miler. It's got to be it's like a squadded effort, and then got to bring it in about 18 minutes, which is under. I think it went reasonably well. Finished just out of the top 5. I think about 7 or 8. I'm reasonably happy with that. I came in with the pack at the end, so I caught the pack in the last stretch. Our plan for the weekend: we're going to go out for a big scoff on Saturday. We might get booked in for the banner time, try and get to the spa bits to try and relax a bit. Just a lot of recovery and eating.
So we've just completed the 2 miler, which brings to the end of the 3rd day, quick day, and now we've got a weekend to rest, recover, get ready for the 20 miler on Monday. Yeah, I think I did very well on the 2 miler. It's an event I'm pretty confident with, I usually do well on, and I was one of 2 people who stuck with the PTI the entire time, so yeah, I was happy with that. For the weekend I'm just going to recover, stretch off, get some ice baths on, just make sure I'm fresh for Monday for the 20 miler.
Okay, so what type of people are we looking for in a parachute regiment? Motivated, dedicated, disciplined, and then the courage to fight when all else is out the window and the enemy's staring down at you and them rounds are coming back at you. You need to be able to get your head up and have a fight, ready to go toe to toe with the enemy. And that's what we're looking for. That's the people that we want. We don't really care about who you were beforehand, what you've done, how you done it, what school you went to. It all goes out the window when you get to us. When your body's screaming at you saying stop, your mind's screaming at you saying stop, there's a little thing. It's hard to explain, to be honest with you, but there's that little voice that just comes into your mind and it drags you to the end. If you've got that, then we'll probably welcome you into the Parachute Regiment.
So I've been quite fortunate. I've spent a number of years in this role. I started off in this job in 2000 as a SI sergeant. I then progressed in 2008/9 as a sergeant major, and I'm now back as you'll see. So I've seen quite a lot of soldiers go through this test, whether it be parachute regiment soldiers or the wider airborne forces. And I can actually say that the tests haven't changed in that period of time. The type of things that we look for then, so on some of the more difficult events that we run, such as the log, we look for determination, we look for the people who can dig in, go through the pain barrier and move forward. We're looking for leaders, people who are encouraging each other when it gets hard. Other things such as the TAMS and 10 miles endurance, you know, it's always that little bit further, pushing people all the time. And what individuals don't realise while they've gone through tests is that this is the minimum standard for the Parachute Regiment and Airborne Forces. Everything gets longer, faster and harder from here.
Day 4 P Company. Today's the endurance march, 20 miles across undulating terrain. It represents that moving across the battlefield. Feeling refreshed after the weekend. Fortunately, we was gated in, so I couldn't go to the spar, and yeah, ready to go.
Right, the Joes are about to undertake the 20-mile loaded march. It's to just represent moving extended distance with weight on the back at reasonable speed, slower than the 10-miler clearly, but still a reasonable effort. It's to represent movement between areas of operations without the use of vehicles, and as airborne forces we're usually deployed at reach without the availability of transport, and we'll be on the old Mark 1 black taxis moving ourselves about. That's what this event's here to represent.
The weather conditions deteriorated over the weekend and will make this next event especially challenging. The Endurance March is a squadded event conducted over 20 miles of demanding terrain. Each individual carries a burden weighing 35 pounds plus water and food and a weapon. The march must be completed in under 4.5 hours to score maximum points.
So we're on the endurance march, which is one of our last tests. We've got to do 20 miles in 4.5 hours. No, I think we're about 6 miles in. Yeah, we're good. My legs are a bit sore, but.
Yeah, everything's going alright. We're just on the 20-mile endurance march right now. I'm not sure at what point we are, but I guess around 7 miles in, something like that. So, around 13 more to go.
It's a good start, isn't it? It's a fucking mega start, isn't it?
So, we just had a 20 miler. It's a bit harder than I thought it would be. The body's a bit sore now. but we've got the stretcher race tomorrow. I think I'm doing alright so far on P Company, but I need to pass the stretcher tomorrow in order to pass P Company, so a lot of pressure on it.
Managed to stay on to hopefully there's a pass. I needed to pass today as I came off the 10 the other day, so I still got an opportunity to pass in P Company now. Tomorrow we got the stretcher race in the morning, then milling in the afternoon. So as I pass along and came off the 10, I need this stretcher race to stand a chance now and then get through milling.
Muscles are sore, tight from just the miles on the feet, but it went well. Pretty much everyone passed it. Tomorrow we've got the stretcher race and then milling after that. Stretcher race simulates getting the casualty to the HLS. Then after that would be milling to test aggression and see whether we're suitable and have the mindset of a paratrooper.
Just push to the flank to stay out there, wait for us. Happy for you to bomb forward with the stretcher, no issues whatsoever. Just try and stay out of our lads' way.
Today's the last day of P Company. We start off with the stretcher race, 5 mile stretcher race, and then this afternoon we've got milling.
I personally think one of the most important events to simulate them extracting their casualty over about a 5 mile route in teams. That and the 10 mile I hold in some of the highest esteem of all the events. So hopefully they do well today.
We've got about 9 that need to pull it out of the bag today, having come off the log. But I'm feeling positive. They're lucked out in that the snow has melted, so it's not going to be like Bambi on ice.
Quite a few of them came off the log race, so what we're looking for now is to essentially put that behind them. They can't affect the past, they need to focus on what they can affect, which is the future. And like I've said many times before, this event needs no motivation whatsoever. You need to get your oppo from one end of the battlefield to another in order to save his life. It's as simple as that.
The stretcher race is conducted in teams of 16, carrying a 175-pound stretcher over a distance of 5 miles. No more than 4 individuals carry the stretcher at any given time. Students wear webbing and carry a weapon throughout. They must demonstrate grit, determination and leadership.
So the recruits have just finished the stretcher race, bit of a mixed performance. Now they've just got a final event, milling, left to do. Hopefully they had enough points to pass. A few shockers come off, but a few people strong. Some of the 17-year-olds smashing out of the park. It's quite clear cut, black and white, enough points. If they're good enough they'll pass, if not they won't.
So final event now, milling. Crucially, it's about getting your head off the parapet and showing that controlled aggression.
The final event of Test Week is 60 seconds of controlled physical aggression against an opponent of similar height and weight. The DS are not testing Joe's ability to fight, but their ability to control themselves under pressure, think and maintain composure while staying focused on the task at hand, returning fire onto the target. A paratrooper needs to be able to deliver maximum violence on command, but equally be able to control themselves as the situation changes.
Do not think for 1 second that just because you are milling means that you're going to pass. Some of you need maximum points. Some of you need to really pull out the bag here, so ensure that you give it your all. Yes? Yes! Yes! Yes!
Complete milling, so 60 seconds controlled aggression. Went down as a draw. Next is beret parade, so find out if I've done enough to pass. Nervous, really nervous. So biggest day of my life, I'd say.
So I had to do it twice because there was uneven numbers, so get a bit more bang for my buck. But yeah, it was good.
No, just getting ready. Got to go back, get changed, get ready for the beret parade. Hopefully, get some good news on the parade square. Nervous, obviously. I creamed in on the 10, but I managed to stay on everything else. And you don't know whether you've been knocked points or admin, so it's anyone's game at the moment. I won my bout. It was more tiring. I thought it was the longest 60 seconds of my life, to be honest with you. But no, it was good.
So the recruits have just conducted milling, which is now the final event on P Company, and there were some good performances there. It's one of the best events for us as a training team to be able to look at Joe and see how they react under pressure in a very uncomfortable situation. A situation a lot of them have never found themselves in before. I think it was quite a good milling, and we saw a lot of good performances there.
Test week is over and Joe marches out onto the parade square to be told whether they have passed or failed. Those that have not made the standard turn to their right and march to the rear of the parade. Those that have failed their second attempt will move to another infantry unit and will not serve in the paras.
5. Sir! Pass. Number 20. Sir! Pass. Sir! 21. Sir! Fail. Sir! 22. Sir! Pass. Sir! 23. Sir! Pass. Sir! 24. Sir! Fail. Sir! 25. Sir! Fail. Sir!
Past P Company, so I'm buzzing. Obviously I come for the log, so I weren't sure whether I was going to pass, so I was happy to get the result. Moving forward now, we got exercise next week, Defence X, known as the mole. Pretty bad because it's in Otterburn and it's snowing up there, so it's going to be freezing.
Then we got a bit of Christmas leave, and then we're coming back. And we got a final exercise, LFFT, and then we got 2 weeks of drill, and then we'll have our pass out parade. So looking forward to that.
I found out past P Company, so obviously absolutely buzzing off to find out the results. We've been bricking it all week.
Now next week we're going into Defence X and we'll be going further on and continue with training. Got about 8 weeks left to get that cracked and hopefully get to battalion.